Now before we begin, major heads up guys, this video has a bunch of spoilers for Avengers Infinity War, and we'll be exploring the potential plot of the fourth Avengers film too, including discussing leaks from the set of the film. You've been warned. Can Ant-Man time travel? That's one of the big questions on everyone's minds these days. After the events of Avengers Infinity War and the seemingly irreversible actions that Thanos took to succeed in his goal of wiping out half of all living things in the universe, fans are dying to know what on earth the remaining heroes can do to bring everybody back. And since the heroes failed to prevent Thanos from getting all of the Infinity Stones and succeeding, thanks to Star-Lord, the most popular theory to explain how all of the other heroes will return is time travel. And we do know that they will be returning. The first film slated for after Avengers 4 is the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming, and Peter was dusted, so... Now the sequel to Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, is out on July 6th in the US, and is said to be exploring the quantum realm further. The quantum realm is pretty important if time travel will take place. Without Doctor Strange in the picture and the Time Stone, the next most possible route to time travel is through the only other heroes in the MCU who have traveled to the quantum realm and returned, Scott Lang, and the man who discovered the quantum realm, Hank Pym, who actually had not returned. Scott did. But they might go in the next movie. Taking place in between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp has Scott now under house arrest because of his participation in Civil War. That's when he's presented with a new mission by Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne. Hope has become the new Wasp, and because of the announcement that Michelle Pfeiffer will be starring as Janet Van Dyne, it's suspected that Scott and Hope will be venturing into the quantum realm to retrieve her. Janet was lost in the quantum realm years and years ago during a mission with Hank. So what exactly is the quantum realm? Well, fans of the Marvel comics will be familiar with it being the term for microverses. Now, microverses used to be defined as any universe only accessible through vibrational attunement, aka shrinking real damn little. The microverses are not tiny universes contained in atoms though. Rather, they're nexuses that make them accessible and are microscopic, making it theoretically possible to access the same microverse from different points on Earth. In the MCU, the quantum realm is described as an alternate dimension, accessible by using a sling ring or Pym particles. Space and time are believed to be irrelevant there. Now, in the first Ant-Man, Scott is trapped there briefly, but alters his suit, replacing the shrinking regulator with an enlarging one, and he manages to get out but doesn't quite remember much. Now, according to Marvel's quantum physicist consultant Dr. Spiros Mikalakis, understanding the quantum realm will be essential for Captain Marvel's story in her solo film. And you see where this is going. He went on to say in an interview with Inverse, I quote, "If someone could go to a place where the laws of physics as we know them were not yet formed, at a place where the arrow of time was broken and the fabric of space was not yet woven, the powers of such a master of the quantum realm would only be construed by their ability to come back to the same or similar reality from which they departed. All the superheroes of Marvel and DC Comics combined would stand no chance against Ant-Man with a malfunctioning regulator."
Does anyone have any orange slices?
So, perhaps the answer to our question is a hard maybe. A mastery of the quantum realm and understanding of how entry points work when it comes to space and time may be able to dictate re-entering the past in Earth 616. But what really drives this theory of Ant-Man being able to time travel via the quantum realm is all of the news that's popped up over recent months about the fourth Avengers film. There's a lot of hints leaked from the set that suggest a few key plot points, which have fueled the time travel theories. Chris Evans has been spotted in his Captain America costume from the first Avengers film, with his hair the same length as it was in that movie. Speaking of hair, Chris Hemsworth was spotted with his long flowing locks. Robert Downey Jr. was wearing Stark's Black Sabbath t-shirt. Tom Hiddleston's Loki was spotted in chains. And in another scene, Chris Evans was spotted walking down a street with a bunch of old cars, which could also likely be a flashback. And on top of all that, Marvel also released a casting call, looking for extras to fill a part of a scene in an office in the 1960s. Now at the time, when these were released back when the film was shooting last August after Infinity War had wrapped, everyone assumed that these were all parts of flashback scenes. But then Paul Rudd was spotted on set in his Ant-Man costume during the additional photography for the film. And if you're unfamiliar with the MCU timeline, Scott Lang wouldn't become Ant-Man until after the Battle of New York. Another curious thing is that if you look closely at the hands of Tony, Cap, and Ant-Man, they all have these little devices on them. Could those be used to aid the time travel via the quantum realm? Stark is also wearing a SHIELD tactical vest and jacket. And with all of these various time leaps, it seems incredibly likely that time travel will be a plot point. The Battle of New York is a pretty important one when it comes to the lead up to Infinity War. Both the Space Stone and the Mind Stone were present at that battle, in the Tesseract opening up the portal and in Loki's staff. Also worth noting that photos of Jeremy Renner also popped up, with him cloaked in a blanket, but hints of his wardrobe were poking out, revealing a suit that's very much like the one that Clint Barton wears when he takes on the Ronin alias. While Barton becoming Ronin in the comics had a sensible lead up plot-wise, it's been a big question mark for fans as to why he wouldn't just return as Hawkeye. Now consider this though, the MCU has a history of deviating from the comics quite often. For example, Hank Pym was the creator of Ultron in the comics, but in the films, Tony Stark was the man behind the robot. And also technically Bruce Banner. And it's been reported that the MCU will be altering Carol Danvers' origin story in some way. Whether or not that will have some sort of connection to the quantum realm is still up for debate, but some fans think that it's no coincidence that Ant-Man and the Wasp was chosen to come out prior to Captain Marvel. Could she be another hero capable of accessing it? Has she been living in the quantum realm since the 90s? Several big questions from the post-credit scene of Infinity War could tie that together. Why has Nick Fury not contacted the hero until now? Could it be that his space beeper can communicate to that realm? And why, being a native of Earth, did she leave in the first place? Surely these are all answers that we'll get from the Captain Marvel film next year. So, what could all of this mean for the plot of Avengers 4? Well, say that in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Hank, Scott, and Hope manage to find a way to get Janet Van Dyne out of the quantum realm. Infinity War happens. Scott realizes that he may be able to help, assuming that he is not dusted, and works with the Avengers along with Captain Marvel to construct those little handpieces they're all wearing. They travel back in time to alter events in order to prevent Thanos from getting all the stones. And I bet the reason why Doctor Strange kept Stark alive was because he's the one who crafted that tech in those leaked photos on the actors on set. Perhaps Clint Barton as Ronan is also part of the whole fixing the timeline's agenda. Disguised, he travels to the past with the aid of Ant-Man or Captain Marvel, and does what Ronan does best: some serious ninja to help put the plan against Thanos in motion. In addition to that, Brie Larson has also shot scenes with Josh Brolin, meaning we know that she comes face to face with the Mad Titan. Aside from helping sort out traversing the quantum realm better, could her character be acting as a diversion while the Avengers travel back in time? Now in the comics, specifically in Infinity Gauntlet, which Infinity War was primarily based off of, there's a plot point in which Adam Warlock, who spearheads the attack on Thanos in the comic, uses the onslaught of heroes against Thanos as a means of distracting him. This is also that another plan featuring Silver Surfer can be carried out, where Silver Surfer swipes the gauntlet off of Thanos while Thanos is distracted. Silver Surfer misses his mark though. Now you could argue that the plan on Titan with Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Mantis, and Drax in Infinity War was a loose rehashing of that storyline. But like we said, the MCU takes liberties, so who knows. All of that being said though, playing with time is a dangerous thing, as we've learned from pretty much every single narrative ever that's explored time travel. One wrong move and everything could change. So in order to alter time, the Avengers would be taking a massive risk, unless they precisely understood what needed to change. Perhaps this is where Captain Marvel comes in, with that precognitive ability she boasts in the comics. But until her film comes out, we won't know if she even has that ability, and if she does, how strong it is. Also, other thoughts about those leaked set images? Based on the armed soldiers next to Loki and Thor, it seems that the time period they may return to is right after the Battle of New York ends. This could explain why Iron Man is in shield gear. He took off the suit and needed clothes. Or perhaps that's just what he's wearing when he time travels. Alright, so that was a lot to digest, wasn't it? So what do you guys all think? Will Scott Lang be the key to saving the world from Thanos' reign of terror? Based on the set photos, it does kinda seem inevitable. What's your theories about how Captain Marvel will fit into the mix? And how do you think that she'll be associated with the quantum realm? Give us all of your thoughts in those comments below. Now if you dug this video, please spread the love by hitting those like and subscribe buttons, and be sure to check out the playlist that we currently have flashing on your screen for more great MCU videos. In the meantime, thanks for watching everybody. I'll catch you all in the next video.